Hi, I'm Amanda Rose, and 2 years ago I was approved for the gastric sleeve bariatric surgery procedure. I may be my surgeon's biggest success story because I have lost 40% more weight than was projected that I would lose with the gastric sleeve surgery procedure itself. I was told that I would lose 100 pounds with the gastric sleeve. I have lost 140 pounds. The surgeon projected that I would go from 280 to 180. And I am now 140 pounds, half my size. But that's not really what makes my case extraordinary. Not the point that I'm half my size after being approved for bariatric surgery. What probably makes it more unusual is that I never did have bariatric surgery and I no longer qualify. I first saw my bariatric surgeon in March of 2017 and I went through the process to qualify for bariatric surgery, the psychological evaluation, the nutritionist consultant, all that stuff. I was considered their model patient. But at that point, I went into the wind, as probably many bariatric patients do. I showed up at my surgeon's office about 6 months ago, not for a bariatric follow-up, but for a triple hernia repair, and those guys were stunned. They had not seen me since I weighed 280 pounds, and there I was, half my size. They simply don't have patients who wander off, come back half their size, especially women at 50 years old. I want you to hear my story because what I did turns out to be easier and cheaper than anything I would have done if I'd gone through the actual bariatric surgery procedure. It was clearly far more effective, in fact, maybe 40% more effective. I've lost more weight than was projected with the surgery, and I've now maintained my weight loss for a year. Surgery would have reduced my stomach to about 10% of the size that it is now, but I kept my big stomach, and ironically, I see it as the most powerful tool that I have now to maintain my weight, instead of my enemy, and that is what I want you to learn about today. My ridiculously big stomach is a key tool in fighting the fat. If you still have a ridiculously big stomach, but you're considering bariatric surgery, you are exactly who I want to talk to today. I want you to test this out as a tool. If you are in the process of qualifying for bariatric surgery, you're going to have to go on a little weight loss program anyway to prove to them that you can lose weight. And I'm going to show you the method that you should use, because maybe it'll work for you as well as it did for me, and you won't need that surgery after all. And you'll keep this powerful tool inside of you, the ridiculously big stomach. In fact, this might be the most ridiculously simple diet I've ever done, and I have had no doctor balk at the healthiness of it. In fact, kind of blows their minds at how ridiculously simple it actually is. First, I want to tell you a bit about me. I've always been fat. I am currently 30 pounds below my lowest weight as an adult. When I've dieted in the past, I've typically been very pleased to get in like the size range of a lady's 14. There was one time when I was about 30 years old that I got into a 12, like that high end of the 12. That was very exciting. And now I've actually got a pair of jeans that are a 6. I mean, how ridiculous is that? I'm 50 and I can wear a 6. I've tried many diets over the years and have just been a complete failure. I've tried low calorie, low carb, vegan, macrobiotic, all kinds of variations of low-carb diets. On all of these diets, I lost some weight. I never maintained it. Obviously, if I ended up at 280, I had a problem with weight maintenance, as I think most of us do. In fact, it was the summer of 2016 when I started another low-carb variation again, and I was literally a day and a half into the diet when I asked myself, how are you going to maintain your weight loss this time? I did not have a good answer. I stopped the diet. I thought, I need to plan a maintenance program right now, and I'm going to take 6 months to plan my maintenance and to practice my maintenance before I do the heavy lifting of the weight loss, only to fail yet again. And it was while I was out hiking and trying to work more exercise into my life that I actually injured my knee fairly badly, and I was laid up on the couch. That's when I hit 280. That is when I hit the depths of despair and desperation that have led me to this very point. We actually live in the giant Sequoia National Monument of California. I couldn't get off my couch, much less hike in the mountains, and that is when I made a call to my bariatric surgeon. The very depth of despair, I remember the day. It was January 6th of 2017. We had a lot of rain that year in California, and that was the day I was actually able to drive the car for the first time. My knee had healed enough in the 2 weeks since the injury to bend the knee enough to get it into the driver's seat, and then to drive around. I got in the car with my teenage son and we drove around looking at all the little waterways, all of the little seasonal creeks that were forming under that heavy rain. Rain was pouring down on us, and I reflected on the point that if I could walk, I would be out dancing in the rain and enjoying the breaking of the drought in California, but I could just barely drive. I thought about my dad in his late 70s who struggles with walking. And I wondered, how will things be when I'm in my late 70s if I can't even walk around now at age 48? How would I take care of myself? Would I even be alive? And so that pit of desperation and despair led me to call the bariatric surgeon. So I went through the whole process, and again, they considered me their ideal patient because I knew what I needed to do. I knew discipline, I knew food choices. I could implement their program. However, what I did not have at that moment was a spot in the schedule. The surgeon was busy, and then I was about to go on a trip. I was slated to go on a trip to Wyoming in August of 2017 to watch the great solar eclipse, and I didn't want to go right from surgery on a trip. And then I was also busy in October, and I thought, wow, since it's already October and we're so close to the new insurance calendar, maybe I just need to wait until January. And so my plan was to have the gastric sleeve on sometime in January of 2018. That was my plan. But I also knew that I needed to lose more than 100 pounds, and I needed to get started. I wanted to be able to walk. I wanted to be able to get off the couch. And you can see footage of me watching the solar eclipse. I'm limping around. I mean, I got a lot of weight on me. At that point, I was 260 pounds in this footage because I'd lost 20 pounds to qualify for the bariatric surgery. And so I got home from the eclipse trip and started this on August 31st of 2017, and it has changed my life. First, I jump-started this diet with a multi-day water fast, and then I broke the fast with a bowl of soup loaded with greens. That was the first meal that I ate, and I just had one meal that first day, the soup. And I believe I had soup the second day as well. The third day, I launched into the life-changing, formulaic, ridiculously big salad. At the time, I didn't even realize it would become a formula and a thing. But what I started doing was every day I ate one meal, just one, in 1 hour, because it took me an entire hour to eat what I was eating, and I went big. I wanted to just fill myself up in that 1 hour. The meal was low carb. It was fairly low in calories, though not considered a very low calorie diet, and it is essentially a unique variation of the keto diet. And I want to give you a sense of how big this is. This is the salad base for today's ridiculously big salad. I mean, look, okay, so look at how big the bowl is. And I'm going to take this over and I'm going to show you what actually goes in the bowl. Alrighty, here's the lettuce. This is just iceberg lettuce with some green onion. It's very simple today. I'm going to use a ranch dressing and some ground beef. This is going to be basically a taco salad. This is nearly a cup of dressing. I'm going to use about a half a cup. That was just a classic ranch dressing with sriracha in it. And I'm going to add some ground beef. This is about a cup of ground beef. I'm feeling like a lot of protein today. That's it. It's pretty basic, but it's what I have today. And this is it, the meal that changed my life. This salad is low enough in carbohydrates and high enough in fats that it's considered ketogenic and fits in the popular keto diet world without freaking out the doctors. Because, the doctors get freaked out that if you're on the keto diet, you're going to just eat a bunch of bacon and sausage. Well, you can see, you could show them a picture of this and say, if this is what I ate in a day, would you be concerned? And though I think most doctors would say, how on earth are you going to eat that in one meal? You can with your ridiculously big stomach. And so about a year ago, I formed a group in Facebook called Eat Like a Bear, just a support group so we could all support each other. And at that time I said, hey, all you need to do is eat keto and maybe eat in 1 hour a day or in 5 hours a day. And it's a very flexible framework. And it is. It absolutely is. But I started to notice that the people who were implementing these salads had a better success rate than those who didn't. That there was something about the formulaic nature of the salads, about the maybe reduced calorie aspect of the salads, but at the bulk of the salad at the same time. So I started noticing more people were having success with this, and more people started asking me for recipes. as I was going through that whole phase of weight loss, I wasn't really measuring my salads. I was just flying by the seat of my pants. I wasn't paying attention to any of the gurus or any of that weight loss stuff. Frankly, I thought a bunch of it was stupid, and I was completely prepared to do the bariatric surgery thing until this really started kicking in and being successful. And so I continued to do the salads week after week, month after month, losing the weight. But I wasn't really measuring, and so when people started asking me for recipes, and I thought, well, I'll do a little cookbook on this. And I went into my kitchen, and even though I am so much not a recipe person and I would just throw stuff together, what I started doing was trying to replicate the experience of all those months and the meals I was actually eating at the time, how I was making them, what was in each of those meals. And I realized this salad had a formula. This giant pile of greens, fat, and protein really did have a formula, and that formula could be replicated. I worked this up into an ebook and sent it to a few people, including a friend whose weight had stalled. She implemented the ridiculously big salad approach and lost about 6 pounds in 10 days. I got inspired to make this video for anybody else as desperate as I was back in the summer of 2017 when I was approved for bariatric surgery. As I see it, here at 50 years old, life is about regret management. When I face big decisions, I try to be mindful of the regrets that I might have later. Don't we have a giant pile of regrets that mount up over the years, and I don't want my pile to get bigger. At a stage of something like bariatric surgery, you want to consider what your options are. Try the ridiculously big salad to manage your regret if you're on the path to bariatric surgery. And I wish you so much luck in your decision. I have been promoting this way of eating for months. You'll find other videos about this. You'll find lots of stuff on the ridiculously big salad. You'll find me making salad dressings in 3 minutes on Facebook. And you can find that ebook on the ridiculously big salad for an entire $10. And I always tell people, look, you can look around at my videos and find all the information about the salads through all those videos. But the ebook just puts it all together in one spot. There is also a 6-week menu plan with a shopping list to just kind of help you get on track. There's also a whole approach to batch cooking, which is going to make this really simple for you. My salads take 10 minutes to put together because of the process that I use, and I outline all of that in the ridiculously big salad ebook. Again, I talk about all those things all the time on Facebook and YouTube, so you can certainly find all of it. And I generally tell people, you don't need to buy anything. You don't need surgery, you don't need drugs or branded products, and you don't even need these ebooks. But you know what? If you're about to belly up on bariatric surgery to the tune of thousands of dollars out of pocket, I think you should spend $10 on the stinking ebook and get it done and test it and see if this is going to work for you as well as it has worked for me. And so this is just a salad. That's all it is. The cost of this salad is probably less than what you're spending on food now. You don't need other products along with this to make it work. There is not some secret product that I'm selling in this book. You're simply going to take it and you're going to go to the grocery store and you're going to buy real food. And I especially want people who are on the path to bariatric surgery to try this because I know you have the tools in place already. First of all, you're completely desperate. You're desperate enough to have your stomach reorganized and to go through the discipline of the liquid diet before surgery and after surgery. And if you have that kind of discipline, you can implement this approach too. In fact, I think you'll find it easier. I am working on collecting success rate data on this approach compared to bariatric surgery, so if you find this video sometime way into the future, look around for that. And I'm sure that this approach will not work for everybody. However, if your story looks at all like mine, woman, older, your weight creeping up over all those years, I am finding that our demographic has a fairly surprisingly high success rate with this approach. This is at least my experience with the members of the Eat Like a Bear group on Facebook. Okay, so before your bariatric surgery, you have one more task. Go get it done.